Thanks. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Tuesday night Team Palace Zoom call. It is Tuesday, the 19th of September, and we just came off of a great Saturday, the start of a Saturday training with Dan Bell. Dan's been one of my mentors. He wrote the business plan, and he wrote the business blueprint. And when I got started years ago, we got the business blueprint, and it was a binder, and that's what we followed as our system. So, but they wanted, over time it's been reiterated and shortened, and so he Optavia-ized it. But the principles of the business that we've been doing is the same for all these years, and it's almost like Optavia is really just defining what we do. So just with a show of hands, how many of you guys were on it on Saturday? Like, just heard it or listened to playback? All right, great. So yeah, let's just go ahead and jump in. I mean, one of the things, and I'd love for y'all to share a takeaway, but a couple of things that really stood out for me in terms of thinking about our business is, one, the unique business plan, the unique space that we have, the unique offering that we have. And two, for us to think about employee mentality versus business owner mentality or entrepreneur mentality. And I think after all the years of doing it, I think that is one of the biggest distinctions we can make, because when we're entrepreneurs, we invest our time, we invest money, capital, and we don't know if there's always going to be a payoff. And I think that versus employee, we go in for a job and we have an hourly rate, it's an exchange, an expectation. As an entrepreneur, we're investing and we don't know necessarily what's going to come. But usually it's just like if people who do the 5-in-1 get results, you can pretty much guarantee you do the work and you talk to people and you engage them and follow our system. You can pretty much guarantee you get results, and it changes over time. So I'm just excited that y'all get to have this experience. You can listen to playback, or just we'll share some takeaways tonight. And Cindy, you want to go ahead and start us out, because I would love for you to share about, some of the takeaways that you got. And then later on, if we have time, I want you to share something about your evolution. That being getting more sure. So anyway, just some things that happened to you this week.
Yes, I'd love to share that, because lessons learned by one will help you all. So just really have an interesting story that maybe we'll have some time to share. Can you hear me okay? Okay, so really going along with what Susan was talking about with our business model, I think sometimes along the way, people said, are you an MLM or a direct marketing? And, didn't always have the great answer, but I love the way Dan put it. He said that we are a unique business model with a multi-tier compensation plan. And when, people say multi-level marketing, direct marketing, we borrow elements from the different types of business models, but we're not any one of them. And I love this part of what he shared. He said, we are noble and classy. We share versus manipulate, and we see if it's a match. And I think that's the beautiful part about who we are. We are not trying to sell somebody. We are just trying to see if it's a match. And I loved how he put that noble and classy piece in. So that really spoke to me, and it really gave me some really good words, because people will, come up and say, are you an MLM? Are you with this? Are you that? You are an MLM. Yeah, and they'll tell me what I am. And I'm like, so that was really nice. And I think the big deal he keeps on stressing, and I think that we always stress, is just keep it simple. Just keep it simple. We have the goods. And so I'm a type of person who, might sometimes make things unsimple, but I think with Optavia, it's really taught me how, they've done it, been there, done that, don't change it. So that was a really cool takeaway. And about dreaming. That was, dream it. I was trying to look for the quote from Jim Rohn about the most important thing is to have a dream. It's the person you become.
Mm-hmm.
And, we talk about that leading, from the future. So it kind of solidified a lot of things that I've heard before. But sometimes hearing it differently from someone else, it really drives home, the beautiful prize we have.
Hey, Cindy, can I interrupt 1 second? I
Sure.
want to stay on the, because I love both of what you shared, or the simple and the business model. One of the things, and I remember you said, oh, I love the way he said that. He says, I'm not going to argue with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And, because we are in the direct sales space, but there's a couple of differences that I think are really important. Not that you need to remember, not that you need to argue it, or like he was sharing some stuff, because we don't have to tell everybody all of this. We just have to know.
Mm-hmm.
But so a couple of things that are different. One is we don't have a recruiting model, and we get nothing if someone becomes a coach. And many companies that you get paid a very small percentage of the product. You get a bigger percentage you get a dollar amount for recruiting. Like I remember someone wanted me to sell some vitamins, and I said, well, how much do you make? And they said 2% on each bottle. They were $40. I go, well, why would I do that? Not worth my time. So they said, well, you get $250 on a distributor. And you have to buy the products and then resell them. And so, I'm going to mute you real quick. And then
I'm sorry.
Okay. And then get you back. I'm going to get you back though. And so we don't make a dime if someone becomes a coach. And the other thing that's a big, powerful thing is that we don't get our products wholesale and sell retail. And what that means sometimes, because I do have people say, well, why would I want to do this? Most companies have a distributor brand of business model. You can purchase a distributor kit and get your products at wholesale. And we don't do that. So we pay the same amount as our clients do for their product. And why I think at first you wonder, well, my gosh, I should get mine. Come on. But here's the thing that really does make a difference. When I'm making a decision to purchase my products, I'm making the same decision. I put it on my credit card the same way one of my clients is. So if I'm not going to spend the money for it, how can I ask them? And so I think it really, for me, it solidifies integrity. And the other piece of that is that the people who we attract are people that don't just want a discount. They really want to help people. And our business model is so different because we coach people. We take a much more invested interest than any home-based business I've ever seen. They give you the website, you order your products, you don't talk to the person again. And we really have a consultative model. So we provide a service, a professional coaching service. So I think that's really important. It's not for everybody. You have to really like people, and you really have to want to take them through a transformation process. And I was saying, it's like you have to get off on people's transformation. Like that has to really excite you. Like, oh, one little thought shifts, and if you don't get excited about that, you probably, won't be very happy for very long. So the other thing I think the business model does is it creates a stability in So we have coaches that have been with us for, 9, 10 years. We don't have a lot of people that get in and get out. So I think it's really important. Any questions about that? Any questions? If people ask you at a, MLM or what kind of business you are, and people will have a concept about it, just like they have a concept about meal replacements. And we just have to have a quiet confidence that we have a really cool offering to offer people. And that's what's helped me stay focused and not get sidetracked by what someone else thinks, because we can't really control that. But we know what we have. So is there anyone else have any questions around that? I think it's a pretty big distinction. All right, Cindy, back to you.
Okay, what part do you, are you doing any other part of the training, or we're just going to just conversation? Because I know, in keeping it simple, he describes, six the steps that we just have to do. Are you going to go over that so that is that in the plan?
Why don't you go ahead? What he talked about, 6 compelling reasons why this business, is important, or what we have. 6 compelling reasons why someone might be interested in joining us. But he also talked about 6 skills, right?
Yeah, he talked about the 6 major skills that we have to have, which were, who do you talk to, which was making your list, which and the list is not just a stable, finite list. It's a list that we keep on creating, month after month. Like if you're seeing some of the same people on your list every month, you might want to look and broaden that out a bit. So it's a forever changing list. And how do you approach people and what do you say? How you share and explore, present our offering, how to follow up, how to start a coach, how to start a new client, and how to coach. And you don't need to know everything, and that's the big deal. In my old world, I needed to know everything, and Optavia makes it really great that we don't need to know everything. And I think the beautiful piece is now with the OptaviaAnswers.com. I'm really trying to share that with my clients so that I am not doing the work for them. And I'm learning that as I'm walking through it, because it is so new to us. But that is a beautiful thing that we, don't have to keep on teaching. It's right there now at people's fingertips more than ever so before. So, that's another beautiful way that keeps it simple for us.
Have you found your clients tapping into Optavia Answers?
Well, I find that, I just brought it up tonight just before we were on the call, and a woman was talking about going into transition. I had to be honest with her that it was brand new and I'm not sure it was there, but she's already going into it for different reasons. So in all honesty, I have to be more conscious to bring that up in each of my conversations because I'm not used to bringing that up. Because it's so new to us. But yeah, I'm trying to refer that out more, and I'm going to it more, and I'm learning it, right there. And it's all in process right now. But there's a lot of good stuff in there. So if you haven't played in there, go play. There's a lot of good information.
So what Cindy's talking about for our new coaches is OptaviaAnswers.com, correct? And that's the client site.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I was just looking for Coach Answers. It's coachanswers.optavia.com and answers.optavia. Is it answers.optavia.com?
I'm getting confused.
So what I recommend is getting a card, and having these nearby on your desk so that can refer to them, because I was looking for them all in one place too. So yeah, and the reason I asked you because I haven't gotten to the habit either, so I was curious about that. Yeah,
and I'm working on that, so that's really good. I loved the exercise about writing goals down, and so I got started doing that. And like we know and we've heard before, a goal is just a wish if you don't write it down. And I have lots of goals in my head. So the exercise that he's putting us through is to really just kind of, without thinking, just put down any goal that you have and just don't judge it, just write it down. And then after you come up with your list, split it up with, is this a healthy body, healthy mind, or healthy finance goal? And after you split it up into those 3 areas, prioritize what are your top, and Susan, they said top 5, and I agree with Susan. I think a top 2 or 3, if you're going to go after 5 goals in each of those areas, that's just too hard to do. So I even think just pick 2, because if those are your priorities, those are probably some pretty good sized goals. And so 2 to 3 in each of those areas, and it's, you do it for 1 year, for 3 years, and 5 years. And he said, dream big. And just like we keep on saying, if you couldn't fail, what would you dream about? I mean, what would you want to achieve? I've got to grow on that one. I've got to dream bigger, because I know I know I can achieve. So I think I'm going to the beach this week, and I think I am pulling that out, and that's what I'm really going to hone in on. And I think that will make a huge difference for me in how fast I grow and what I do.
I love that, Cindy. And I do like one of the things that a technique that I really recommend we do when you ask about the goals that you want and then why do you want them. And I think that's really important because we can say, oh, we want, to reach a certain income level. But why do we want that? And then the other piece is there's a technique that you can do that I found really valuable, but to ask why 5 times. And you get deeper, okay? So what was one of mine was to grow the number of coaches on my team. Well, it was to reach a rank or something. Why do I want that? Well, I want to grow the number of coaches on my team. Why do I want that? Well, because it's fun to meet new people. And so digging deep, and then I remembered that one of the things that I really like to do, especially when I was in high school and college and all along, is I love meeting new people. So the more coaches I have, I get to meet new people. And so it tapped into a little bit more fun, adventure. Oh, I like that rather than, a certain number of coaches and a certain income level. So if you can go a little bit deeper with the why, you'll find out it kind of freed me up a little bit to have fun with it and to have fun with the people that I want to meet. And it's more about meeting people than it is about anything else. So it's real important too, because, sometimes when you dig deep, the 5 levels, that you're going to find something that's maybe not, I forgot I did this once, and it was more about approval, like seeking approval. And no matter what rank you get, no matter how much money you make, you're never going to get approval. So there's sometimes you can uncover things on the whys that you're looking for this business or for this client or for something to cover up or to make better. And it won't. So digging a little bit deeper, and please feel free to ask me about it. I'm not an expert in it, but you can dig a little bit deeper and take your why down about 5 times. So, if you want to make a certain amount of money or be a certain weight, why do you want to do that? Well, why do you want to? Because I want to play with my children or wear a bathing suit. Well, why do you want to wear a bathing suit? Well, because it'd be, fun. So there's different things. Why do you want to have fun? Because that's who I am. I'm fun, whatever. So you can find what's really motivating you from inside versus the surface level. So just a thought.
Susan, I have another thought, and I think we discussed this on one of the other phone calls, but what's coming to me is another strategy is that Velcro challenge that Craig talked about, in really understanding why you want something. What do you remember what that call was, what it was on? I mean, I could refer back to it and I could post in Team Palace, but it's about really taking your goal and figuring out, writing down 3 reasons why you want it. And it is going into those other levels, but you write it down every day in the morning. And one day you write it with your dominant hand, and the other day you write it with your non-dominant hand. And it's pretty interesting to see what comes out when you're doing it with your non-dominant hand, because in your non-dominant hand, there's more, you're slowing down, and there's, more time to kind of think and get it on. I mean, it just comes out different. You have to try it, but that's another really good strategy that I've used in trying to work through new goals.
That's great reminder. Non-dominant hand is a great way to, if you ever want to ask yourself questions. I love that, because Cindy, you sent that to me that whole week that you were doing it, and you could see the non-dominant hand, it bypasses your rational brain. It gets more to your subconscious, that different part of yourself, the creative part of yourself. And it's, you can see some things. I really liked seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
Really good exercise. It was in one of the Habits of Health calls.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, so maybe post it. That would be fun. Anything else? Debbie Pasco, did you have something that you really took away from Saturday?
Sorry, guys. I was like, yes, I did. Well, okay, number one, I would say doing, like Cindy was saying, doing the workbook or the worksheet that he printed out for us, or that he sent us and that we printed out, that's hard. And what I found about myself is that I'm okay, like as far as like coming up with ideas that I liked, I was okay coming up with, enough to fill in maybe my 1 year and maybe my 3 year, but my gosh, to come up with 15 things, that was quite a challenge for me. So I'm having to think deeper, and I like the why, or the Velcro challenge idea. I think that's brilliant. I found that the thing that really spoke to me was the simplicity, and I agree that I think I complicate things. I know I do. I tend to anticipate questions that haven't even come yet. And then when things do come, I haven't prepared for them, and then I freeze, and then so I think that the idea of just understanding that everything is learnable, so like bringing on a new coach, it's not hard, it's not scary, it's exciting. You're giving them a gift, you're giving them an opportunity. And that what we're doing is we're spreading the love, basically, and just kind of making this world a better place. And how would we not want to do that? How could we not want to share that? It's a gift. So those things I think meant a lot for me. I heard a lot of books that I want to now go out and get. So that was, I definitely see myself growing just from the first meeting. One of the things that he said that it really hit me was, he said, how many apples are in a seed? Like, I've never heard that expression before. Have you guys heard that before? Like, I've never heard that. So when he said that, I was like, oh my gosh, so this whole planting seeds and bringing new coaches and getting one more person healthy and stuff like that, like, that's how many apples are in that seed. Like, oh my gosh, like, that's like mind blowing to me, because then there's seeds inside the apples, and like, like how exponentially huge these things grow, that I really, really thought apples in a seed was like one of the coolest things I've ever heard. So that was kind of, it's somewhat small, but those were the things that, like, mind blown, I got a lot out of the meeting. And I think that I anticipate that this 6-week thing that we're doing is going to be huge for all of us. And I know, Dr. A was alluding to how quickly we're going to be going international. And I don't think it's years and years and years in the future. I think it's very soon. And so that's kind of exciting too. So yeah, we got to get more seeds out there so we can get more apples. And
that's so great. Way to go, Debbie. That's so true. And one of what stops us, because you're right, we do have a gift, and we're just looking, to Cindy's point, we're just looking for this match, you know. And we did a training. I got, y'all know the book Are You My Mother?
Yeah.
You know, the Derek Dr. Seuss book, and the bird falls out of the nest, and he goes around and to the dog, are you my mother? Are you my mother? Are you my mother? And he doesn't get flustered that that person's not his mother. He just goes to the next person, are you my mother? And I just loved it. But I think what happens is when we get either afraid of what people will think of us, or feel we don't want rejection, it's more we take the focus off someone else rather than ourselves. We put the focus on ourselves rather than, like you say, offering a gift. And there are people that don't want gifts that we offer them, and that doesn't always feel good, if they don't like the gift we gave them. But it's, I think keeping that mindset of, we're just looking to see if it's the right fit. And I think that's really, really important to remind ourselves. And I think he said, put the hand over our heart, and just who do we want to help today? So I love that. Anyone else have anything? Terry, were you on? Do you have anything you want to share? Nope. Sherry? Nope. Kristen? Nope. All right. Then we'll, anyone else? Janie, Delia, Sandy, I don't think still there. All right, well then we'll just leave it here, and Saturday is the same, 11 to 1 Eastern time. There is the playback. It's sometimes better just to kind of get on, if you can make the time on Saturday, just because it's hard to listen to a playback. But it's fun to be with the people. Discover Your Optimal Health Day, Wednesday, the 27th. And in East Cobb, we are doing, everyone's invited to, we're doing just a potluck, healthy happy hour at Gay Brownlee's house. And she lives in East Cobb and off Lost Forest near Post Oak Tritt. And so we'll be getting that information out. Bring a lean and green. And that night at 8:30, Dr. A is going to be on the Habits of Health call, answering questions. If you have any clients that maybe aren't local, or you put it out there for them to get on that call. I think we're going to do the Habits of Health from 6:30 to 8, so we can be home and gone listening to the call. But at 8:30 to 9, he's going to be answering questions. David Bush will be asking him questions. And that's really good for clients. So we'll, publicize that and share that with your clients. And then at 9, he's going to be doing a little presentation, trilogy presentation. So inviting people to come on that. So if you don't live in East Cobb area, just think of a way that you can celebrate that day, whether it be, like I say, one time I brought a tray of cut up bars to my daughter's softball game. But if you want to invite a few people over, do a potluck, all meet at a restaurant, do a walk. A lot of people, we did a walk last year, I think, from Shine. And so think about how you want to celebrate it. It's just a great opportunity to get out of your comfort zone a little bit and celebrate it, and just kind of put the word out. But definitely invite people to the 8:30 Habit of Health call and 9 o'clock trilogy call, because I think people will get a lot out of it. So, all right. Any questions? Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you all for being on the call, and we'll see you next week.